Hey guys, so we're doing something this week special for you. Since we've been talking a lot about the Patreon and about the content we got going on there and how good it is, we decided to put our money where our mouth is, and we're dropping an episode for free for everyone to check out. So, Bachelor 101, hope you enjoy it.
Really good content that we could record, but
Patreon guys, oh my god,
even y'all guys are missing out on this stuff because
So
this stuff
good.
would have been really, really good. But now I'm starting to understand why Rogan and all them talk so much before a podcast. Kind of gets you chatting, kind of gets you into that rhythm and stuff like that. So, bro, educate me. All right, give me some Bachelor 101, some of this Netflix, what's going on, some of these shows. I know you were sharing with you a little bit before. So let's dive into some of this stuff. Educate me now.
So first of all, Patreon guys, we love you. We appreciate the support. Thank you for being here. Cannot keep doing this as well as we do it without you.
18 more of y'all guys, and we're gonna release some content.
We're gonna release it. It's gonna happen. So yeah, all right. So my opinion, Netflix is becoming the mecca for reality TV. I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, you got a show on there called The Mole. So I haven't watched it yet, but I know enough to be able to kind of explain it. Basically, you've got people that are sent to this place. They're competing for money as every reality TV show, but you're trying to sniff out who the mole is, like who's the liar. Basically, the show is made to you have to be the best at deceiving people. Okay.
I watched some. Ethan was watching some of that. I watched it. They're like on a there's all these different things you got to deceive, and they got to vote the mole out, and it's like a giant game of Mafia.
Exactly.
Yeah, I watched two episodes with her.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
Then they have another show that's called 16 something, which I don't know a lot about. There's only one girl on there that was like of relevance. Her name was, I believe it was Amber is her name. But either way, that's one. And from what I understand, it's really just kind of like walking through, like, it's kind of like a real world type thing. Mm-hmm. Then they have Love is Blind, which I used to mention that you've
I watched season 2, yeah.
To me, and again, here's a hot take. If The Bachelor continues the road they're going, Love is Blind to me has enough content, it has enough like substance to outdo The Bachelor.
Bro, it's good. I mean, the concept is great. Dude, I watched the Brazilian one, right?
Did you?
And yeah, we watched it. Like, yeah, we watched the Brazilian one. I think we also tried to watch like the Japan one as well. You know,
they have a Germany one.
Yeah. I've tried. We've tried some of these other countries to kind of follow along and see what the story is like, what the story's about.
My boy Shane, season 2 for Love is Blind American.
Oh, Shane.
Shane's my boy, dude. Oh my gosh, I love Shane. Shout out Shane. And then they also have the last one, which is Too Hot to Handle, which I've never watched it, but from what I remember, that's the because there's two that are very similar. It's Love Island.
Sounds like softcore porn,
dude. it kind of gets out. So I kind of got a little uncomfortable. I'll be honest with you on it because I was just like, and first of all, like, there's certain parts of it to where if it gets a little too gimmicky, like you can't keep my I'm not about that. But Too Hot to Handle, and again, comments like, please don't roast me if I'm incorrect because this could be Love Island. I'm saying. You go on there, and if you match up with somebody and you're able to like not have sex, but by the end of it, you win the money.
Yeah, I saw that one. I don't know what
you're
talking about.
That's
I
what
didn't watch it, but I saw like an episode. Maybe Michelle's watching it. Or
it got really popular, but I never watched it just because, like, again, like when it's that many forced, like, too pretty to really relate to.
Yeah,
type
bro.
people,
like you never see a show with the dude looking like me up there, like, hey, what's up? I'm fat and bald. Patchy beard, like, who wants to get it on with me? Like,
yeah. So, anyway, those shows are, again, like, they're popular in their own right. I'll say, like, I think Love is Blind is probably the best of those. Like, the boy, like, Nick Lachey and his wife are really involved in all those shows to some degree, and Nick Lachey does a great job. He really does.
I mean, he would know. He was one of the first guys who started doing reality TV before it really became a thing, a really popular thing. Yeah.
And dude looks like he doesn't even age. Also, like, that's freaking insane.
He's a vampire.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be fair for guys to look that good and also be able to sing. Like, that's just anyway. Sorry. So they have a show that takes all of them, all the main like your season favorites, and puts it on a new show called The Perfect Match. To me,
bro, they're doing like Marvel stuff on Netflix.
Perfect Match is phenomenal.
Okay.
Because first of all, now you're getting into Netflix getting a little smart, and they're building up hype because they're posting sections of them, like 4 episodes each week. So you're building this intensity rather than like the seasons out, which is great. But what keeps you coming back is it's almost like no one's satisfied with one episode anymore. It's enough just to go, oh, I can't wait for next week. And then you got these guys like, again, social media being such a presence, they're hyping up the show too.
Interesting.
So it's really good in the present. So the basis of Perfect Match is that you come into it and there's a certain amount of people that show up, and you have at the end of the night, you go like to a room with your match. Again, like that doesn't mean like you have to do anything.
Yeah.
Like half the time, most of them like really don't until the end, I would assume. They don't
probably.
and they don't show that.
Yeah.
But anyway, by the end of the night, and if whoever's left, like you have to go home. But the catch is during the day, they have these events they do that are compatibility match, like games. And if you win the compatibility game, then you get to go to the boardroom. And in the boardroom, you have this screen where you get to choose 2 people. It's each week it changes from girls and guys. And there's like 4 people, like new guys, new girls on the top, and then you have the couples on the bottom, and they get to choose which person to go send on a date. And so they get broken away from their match, and they go on this date, and it tests their relationship. And then again, it restarts at the end of the night. You have to agree to be the match. And by the end of it, they take a vote on who is voted the perfect match. It doesn't mean you have to be together the longest.
Yeah.
It's just who is voted by the entire house to bring everybody back, who's the perfect match. It's really good. It's really good.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and I like it because it's more about being most compatible versus did you just commit to stay together the whole time? And so I like that. And it's good. I hope they keep doing it.
So what's the difference between again, educate me, right?
Okay.
I don't do a lot of that kind of stuff. I don't know, never got into it.
Yeah.
A lot of it feels to me, and you probably know this, so I'm not saying that, a lot of it feels forced or fake, right?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between this show and like The Bachelor? And
So-
what's going on with The Bachelor?
Yeah. So the difference is, to me, is when you put people in uncomfortable situations, I think it's a lot more difficult to really hide who you are, right? Like I think with The Bachelor, like you've got one guy and you have multiple women, and I think it's easy to kind of like cast a shadow on how certain people look. But I will say on, like, for instance, Perfect Match, it's a lot more difficult to kind of paint these guys by cutting certain things to say, oh, well, they made them the villain or because of the cutting, or there's no way you're like that in real life. When, again, I just think it's kind of difficult to do it barring the circumstances.
Yeah.
Now, you could say anything. Yeah, people are good actors, sure, right? And people want screen time, sure. But with The Bachelor, it's just, I don't know, man. Like it's been around the longest. The way that the Bachelor works is you have The Bachelor, and then after the Bachelor season, there's The Bachelorette, and then they recently, in the past, I think 6 years, maybe longer, comments help me out here on this. They do, which is my favorite, Bachelor in Paradise, where they bring like guys from all different seasons, girls from all different seasons, and put them on an island. And again, it's the same concept. Like,
and they're all competing for love.
And there's no, again, the prize is love. There's no like money. And that's really cool. I appreciate I think the island, like or Bachelor in Paradise, is probably the realest because there is no incentive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, not to say that, because there's multiple people that have done The Bachelor and they're still together and they're married and they have kids.
How many couples? Like, how many couples do you know off the top of your head since you've been watching season 1? How many couples are still together from Bachelor seasons?
So I know that Aaron Rodgers' brother went on there and he matched with JoJo Fletcher. They're still together. They're probably one of my favorite. Then you've got Tanner and can't remember her name from a season that they met on Bachelor in Paradise. I would probably say 7.
Okay.
There's probably 7. I think they've done 22 seasons or something like that.
Okay.
And then let's say you add in like The Bachelor in Paradise. I'd say there's 7. I could be wrong. Maybe there's a more. But I mean, again, you've got some that have like together, had kids, had a divorce. I know like Evan and Carly were one that were like a very strange couple on Bachelor in Paradise. They had children, and I believe that they're divorced now. But I mean, again, like judge success, right? At what point in time? So yeah, I mean, there's people that are still together, and and you have some that there's been a few that have been on there multiple times. And then some that actually, which I think is really cool, is they met like within because I mean, there's like I guess what you want to call it,
like alumni or something.
Alumni,
like,
right? And they meet through there, and some have gotten married, which are still dating or whatever, and that's pretty cool too. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, there might be over 10 because I'm starting to like remember certain ones. I don't remember their names, but that like couples that probably are still together. But in saying all that, how it works for like the main shows, Bachelor and Bachelorette, you've got one person, and usually like they've from different walks of life. So like some of them are super successful, some of them are just normal people, but they've got a lot going for them. And you've got 24 women starting out that they meet, every one of them. And what's kind of crazy is like on the first night, like there are people that they've done, like podcasts and stuff that like you get there probably around like 6, and you sometimes like are filming and you have to stay up and you don't stop until like 7 the next morning.
Man, that's intense.
And they're like pushing alcohol. And I say pushing alcohol, I mean, everyone's kind of gassed up when like with alcohol and stuff like that. So I mean, you can only imagine like for The Bachelor, you get a bunch of women like vying for one guy's heart and
get them
boozed up, like
get them tired.
There's some drama.
Interesting.
And that's, I think, the funnest and most interesting part about The Bachelor, Bachelorette, is when you have the villain. Like, if you don't have a villain that's a good villain, it kind of makes it not fun to watch. I'll be honest. So, like, 2 things. If there's not a villain, it's not really fun to watch. And also, if the lead is kind of dull. And I think that there's some parts to like Zach, who's the Bachelor this season, that doesn't help, because I think he's a little dull. Like, don't roast me, guys. I think Zach's a little dull. I like him. I think he's a good guy. I just think that he's just not exciting.
So boring.
A little boring. Like,
the girls are not that crazy to fight for him.
Yes, I mean, they're crazy to fight for him, but it's just like for TV purposes, it's not entertaining. And then on top of that, like me and you talk a little off camera about it. Like my boy Chris Harrison, who to me like is probably 70% of the show. There's some controversy surrounding him, and this is his first season without him. They put a guy in, Jesse Palmer. He's terrible. He's horrible. He's not good. And he's super awkward. I mean, I don't know how much you know about Jesse Palmer, but I mean, he's been on ESPN, like College Game Day.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I know exactly
the football player.
About.
Yeah.
Yes,
he was like the 5th season.
He was on The Bachelor. I remember that.
And so he's kind of coming back, but he's also like a very cookie cutter, like,
he's very clean cut.
He's very clean cut. It's very staged, very like together. And Chris Harrison was just kind of like, he's just, I don't know, he's like that cool uncle. Kind of how he felt, right? Like he had real conversation. Like he kind of was just like, hey man, like I'm here for the drama. And it feels
he's
like
just there hanging out, just kind of relaxing. Just
dude,
like,
that's literally how it would be. Like, I mean, like on Bachelor in Paradise, I can remember when they first like did the season, like Chris Harrison showing up in like his Hawaiian shirt. He's kind of a smaller guy, and he's kind of like, hey guys, like what's going on? And you're like, oh, Chris Harrison.
That's funny.
So yeah, it's different, but I think if and this is a hot take, if they continue down the route, I think you're going to see some major changes. And I would not shock me, like here, I'm calling it. If The Bachelor ends up falling to a degree where they don't renew the show, watch Netflix pick it up. Watch it. Because you want to talk about an insane fan base, like you'd be shocked.
I just don't see ABC dropping it, dude. ABC is like, you think about ABC, like you think about like their classic shows. It'd be like, I don't know. I'm thinking about like NBC dropping Sunday Night Football. Like it just don't make sense.
And I agree, but the thing is like if you continue, like if your shows tank like that, like it's still a business.
I understand.
But I also think that the easier solution is you figure out a way to reconcile with Chris Harrison, because I think that's a big step there. And if not, like, of all people, Jesse Palmer, like there's like some fan favorites, dude, that are like very like brand recognized with The Bachelor. And you could bring in like, for instance, like Ben Higgins. I forgot people who know Ben Higgins is probably one of the most popular Bachelors. You could have brought him in, probably would have done a pretty good job, and there would have been some familiarity with it. You could have done, there's a guy on there. Did you ever watch Modern Family?
I did.
Okay. Do you remember Sarah Hedderfield? She plays the older daughter.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
So there's a guy that's on there. that was a fan favorite. Now he's on every Bachelor in Paradise. He's the bartender. His name's Wells.
Okay.
She married him.
Okay.
And so Wells is like, again, like he's so synonymous with the show and so beloved that they put him on Bachelor in Paradise as a solidified figure. That's another person, like his personality, be a fantastic host. And it would be funny. Like he's a very funny, like very witty guy.
It'd be like him getting promoted. You know,
and I think
from a role he's consistently on there and then
Correct.
getting a chance to do something bigger.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And it's just like
Palmer feels like he's an outsider almost.
it does.
Like an sports guy all of a sudden coming into this dating reality show, even though he was a contestant.
A failed contestant. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not even like, for instance, like I think another thing that like helps like with
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Who owns ESPN?
Yep. ABC Disney. Yeah, no, I mean you're right.
It's the payroll. Good looking guy, payroll.
Yeah.
Not to do too much, too crazy. Not to offer him a new package or
That's
anything
true.
like that. No brand new health insurance, teeth insurance. He's already part of the deal.
But I mean, man, you could even bring stinking what's his name? Aaron Rodgers' brother. He was on the show and won. And he's even got a better personality, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, Lord, he married JoJo Fletcher, who was on there.
But again, it's an outsider.
He may be not, but he's on ESPN's payroll.
He really?
You see what I'm saying? Because he's on College Game Day.
He's on College Game Day too.
Yeah. So like,
yeah, I'm curious to see how that works because a lot of times, right? You have contract, and I bet all those people, a lot of them are on contract, right? And then there's a contract employee, right? Not on the payroll, right? Versus a guy like a Palmer and different characters, they're probably on a payroll.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and so they're probably looking for people on the payroll to save money. I mean, it's just me being stupid and talking. It's Patreon talking. So y'all guys probably don't mind this, right? But they're probably more than likely doing it because I mean, I don't know, it's cheaper than bringing a guy on and keeping him on where game day, they can just shuffle him back to game day where this guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. But with all that being said, it's a great show.
Okay. So what season should I try out? I mean, where can I find it?
Okay, you can find it on ABC.
Okay.
You can actually go to, I believe, abc.com, and if I remember correctly, you can actually watch it for free on there.
Okay.
My recommendation, a great season to start off with, would be Ben Higgins season. I don't remember which season that is, but if you type in Ben Higgins, like you
find it out. Okay.
Good. That's a great season. Like for the Bachelorette, JoJo Fletcher, which was the following season. It was the girl he didn't choose. Great season. Like to me, those are two of the best seasons. Another like Bachelor season would be Colton. He had a great group of girls. And I'm trying to think of any Nick. A lot of people don't like Nick Vale, by the way. Like little plug here. Nick Vale was a guy that was on there for The Bachelor, and he has his own podcast now, and like killing it. And he was kind of one of those guys that people just really connect with. The guy reminds me 1,000% of like Ryan Reynolds, just like him.
Okay.
But I think he's funny.
Ben Fletcher is the one telling me I should.
JoJo Fletcher.
JoJo Fletcher.
And then
Fletcher.
Ben Higgins.
Ben Higgins.
So that gives you a Bachelor and a Bachelorette. And I think those are like,
I'll start there.
Perfect. Like,
we'll see where we go.
Great drama, good group of girls. Like to me, those two seasons made for some of the best Bachelor in Paradise because again, like the contestants that don't make it come back on there. I just think it makes for good TV.
Perfect. I think something Michelle will like, and maybe something we can kind of bench together. Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's great.
Well, everybody, thank y'all for joining the Patreon and being a part and listening to our 101s of The Bachelor and 101s of Netflix. Maybe down the line, we'll get Bachelor 201.
Yeah.
And can break down some different dynamics. Maybe by that point, I've done my homework.
Yeah.
Watched, and we can kind of dive in a little bit deeper into the Bachelor world.
I think it'd be great. I think there's a desire for it. Possibly. We'll see. We'll see what the ratings do, guys.
We'll see. All right,
hey,
bro.
See you, bro.
All right.
See you guys.
See ya.